Proverbs 25. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the man of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height, and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of a great man. For better it is that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince, whom thine eyes have seen. Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another, lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thy infamy turn not away. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pitchers of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him. For he refresheth the soul of his masters. Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee, and so hate thee. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a mule, and a sword, and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth, and a foot out of joint. As he that taketh away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon nature, so is he that singeth songs to a heavy heart. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. The north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance, a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman and in a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey. So for man to search their own glory is not glory. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. This verse is the title of this later collection of Solomon's Proverbs. For he sought out and set in order many proverbs, that by them he might be still teaching the people knowledge. Observe, the Proverbs were Solomon's, who was divinely inspired to deliver for the use of the church these wise and weighty sentences. We have had many, but still there are more. Yet herein Christ is greater than Solomon. For if we had all upon recorded that Christ said and did that was instructive, the world could not obtain the books that would be written. The publishers were Hezekiah's servants, who, it is likely, herein acted as his servants, being appointed by him to do this good service to the church, among other good offices that he did in the law and in the commandments. Whether he employed the prophets in this work, as Isaiah, who lived in his time, or some that were trained up in the schools of the prophets, or some of the priests and Levites, to whom we had him giving a charge concerning divine things. His princes and ministers of state, who were more properly called his servants, is not certain. If the work was done by Sheba, it was no division to their character. They copied out these proverbs from the records of Solomon's reign and published them as the appendix to the former edition of this book. It may be a piece of very good service to the church to publish other man's works that have hidden in obscurity, perhaps a great while. Some think they called these out of the 3,000 proverbs which Solomon spoke, leaving out those that were physical and that pertained to natural physiology, and preserving such only as were divine and moral. And in this collection, some observed that special regard was had to those observations which concern kings and their administration.